Everyone knows Coca-Cola. It's the red logo, Christmas ads, Olympic billboards, and the world's most iconic drink. But here is the twist. Italy's famous rival, Pepsi, actually generates nearby double Coca-Cola's revenue today. And it gets even stranger. Back in 1930s, Pepsi was on the edge of collapse and actually offered to sell itself to Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola said no. That decision would spark one of the most legendary rivalries in business history, a battle that has defined advertising, culture, and the global soft drink industry for over a century. Coca-Cola was born in 1886 in a small Atlanta pharmacy. It was originally marketed as a medicine, a cure for headache and fatigue. Pepsi appeared a few years later in North Carolina, also sold as a tonic. But while Coca-Cola scaled quickly, Pepsi struggled. During the Great Depression, Pepsi went bankrupt more than once. Desperate, the company offered itself to Coca-Cola for a bargain price. Coca-Cola refused, dismissing Pepsi as a dying brand. That rejection forced Pepsi to survive on its own, and what followed was a comeback story that would make Pepsi a global powerhouse. Coca-Cola leaned into tradition. Its brand was about family, comfort, and heritage. By the 1930s, Coca-Cola ads with Santa Claus redefined Christmas imagery forever. On the other hand, Pepsi couldn't compete, so it went the opposite direction. They targeted the price-sensitive consumer. In the 1930s, Pepsi doubled the size of its bottles, but kept the price the same as Coca-Cola. It was clever, it was bold, and it worked. Pepsi had found its own lane. The rivalry turned aggressive in the 1970s with the famous Pepsi Challenge. In malls across America, blind taste tests asked people to choose between Coke and Pepsi. To everyone's surprise, Pepsi often won. Coca-Cola panicked. Their answer, a reformulation called New Coke. It was meant to be Pepsi's sweeter taste, but instead it became a disaster. Loyal customers revolted, protests broke out. Coca-Cola was forced to bring back the original formula as Coca-Cola Classic. Before continuing to the next chapter, I'm gonna tell you a story between Pepsi and the Soviet Union. In 1989, the Soviet Union was short on cash but thirsty for Pepsi, so instead of paying in dollars, they offered Pepsi 17 submarines, a cruiser, a frigate, and a destroyer. For a brief moment, Pepsi became the sixth largest military power on Earth, all because of soda. Of course, they sold the fleet for scrap soon after, but it remains one of the wildest business deals in history. The 90s were the era of celebrity wars. Pepsi recruited music icons, pop stars, rock concerts, and youth culture. Coca-Cola stayed the global classic, tying itself to the Olympics, the World Cup, and family values. One brand represented tradition, the other rebellion. The rivalry soon went global. From Africa to Asia, both companies raced to build bottling plants, sponsor events, and win over local markets. In some countries, choosing Coke or Pepsi even became a political statement, a symbol of Western culture or a symbol of modern rebellion. Today, the battlefield has shifted. Consumers are drinking less soda and the government are taxing sugar. So both giants expanded into bottled water, sports drink, energy drinks, and coffee and snacks. And here where Pepsi quietly pulled ahead. While Coca-Cola stayed focused on beverages, Pepsi built an empire in food by owning brands like Lay's and Doritos. PepsiCo's total revenue is now nearly twice that of Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola may remain the world's most iconic drink, but Pepsi, once rejected and dismissed, became a diversified giant that quietly out-earned its rival. Yet, the rivalry still rages. Every Super Bowl ad, Every new flavor, every shelf in the grocery store is another battlefield, because in the end, Coca versus Pepsi isn't just about cola. It's about how competition can create two of the most powerful brands the world has ever seen.